Okay. Now, today's class is going to be very snappy, very, very snappy and short. I'm going to take you through the types of connectivity in networking and the various IPs you are to know. Please, have I sent this reading material in your Slack channel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, that's fine. You should be going to. I will send another reading material by I think by the close of, let me say, Friday. You should get another reading material in your reading materials are many. So this one, a lot is coming. A lot are coming. This one is not many. It's about 21 pages. 21 pages you can finish. You just go through, you can finish. Okay. In hacking, I assume most of you guys have heard of Ethernet and a whole lot. And mostly when you talk about Ethernet, where your mind will take you is the cable, Ethernet cable. I know most of you will take it from Ethernet cable. Right. Okay. Now, these are the types, or yes, the types where you can actually configure your network, where you can actually configure your network types you can use in configuration of your network. The first one here is fast Ethernet. Why do we say fast? We say it's fast because the Ethernet so far, the speed limit can actually runs to 100 from 10 megabytes per second to 100 megabytes per second. It's very fast. And with this, there are three types of this fast Ethernet. We have 100 base TX for use. The cable, we will actually come back to that. We are not dealing with cable, we are dealing with the type. So the Ethernet one, the speed is very fast. That's why, so when you are connecting or when you get to an internet, say hotspot, a place where internet is very strong, you should rather use the Ethernet cable instead of connecting the Wi-Fi. The Ethernet cable is very fast, very fast. It can transfer 10 megabytes per second of data to 100 megabytes. So we see the speed is very fast. We also have token ring. Now, in this token ring, there is something you should know. In fact, all please watch my mouse. This is a token ring network configuration. Now, it means when this particular computer starts sharing data, it moves in a unidirectional manner. So it moves from here
Yeah,
to
please,
here.
I can't see your cursor.
Okay, okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, please.
So please follow it carefully. So I'm talking about ring, this ring. So let me see computer one here is transferring data across this network configuration. Now the data it will transfer will move in a unidirectional manner. So it means it starts from here, gets here, before this one gets it, before this one gets it, before this one gets it, before this one, before this one. So it moves in one direction. So meaning whoever is closer to the sender gets it first. That's the token ring. Whoever is closer gets it first. Okay, very fast. We also have the FDDI, the Fiber Distributed Data Interface. Okay, so when we talk about, I know most of you I've heard about 5 by 5 by 5 by. MTN has 5 by network. Vodafone has 5 by. So what's 5 by? Okay. The 5 by is basically it's like um uh let me bring it down here. When we talk about 5 by, it's a network configuration whereby it's carried in a long range lines, optic lines. So if you've seen a fiber cable before, they are laid underground. For example, over in universities, you have your main station maybe somewhere at your networking operation center. Then you see they will lay down fibers underground of the university. They'll be darking a whole lot of holes, then wires, some big wires will be passing through. So this is a fiber transmission. Remember, it is used to transfer data over a very long distance. You can see from my screen about 200 kilometers or 124 miles. Fiber is actually used for long distance network in a geographical area. So mostly it's used in the universities. Mostly it's used in the universities whereby they will like to connect all their residential halls. So they start laying down these fiber optic cables so that the data transmission can actually get to places they want it to be. When it gets there, they have servers that are going to distribute packets for the various routers to get it, and you, the student, will also get your share. Okay, very quick. I have a table here. Let's go through. We have point to point. The acronym is the IP or TCP. Okay, its job, the backbone protocol of the internet. Popular also for intranet using the internet. Okay, what this is trying to mean is actually when you say point to point, you can decide to set, so you decide to set or to design a network. Now in this network we are going to have a main workstation, then you have clients. For example, in a situation whereby you are building an intranet, I presume everyone knows intranet by now. In a situation whereby you are building an intranet, that's in a private network in your organization, you would actually have a major point. So the one who would be distributing and the one who will be receiving. That we have the client and the workstation. Client and the workstation. In point to point, okay. In point to point, computers uses PPP to communicate over the telephone network or the internet. A PPP connection exists when two systems physically connect through a telephone line. You can use PPP. PPP is the same as point to point protocol, please. Don't get confused. Okay. So the whole thing we are trying to say is point to point protocol is a protocol that is used to connect one computer system to another. You see, most times you can use these telephone lines if you are very familiar with network. If you can use telephone lines to connect, this is called point to point, whereby your server will be maybe in your phone. So take your house as example. You have your own house. Your server is in a server room down where. Then you are trying to connect your server to your computer in your bedroom. That connection you are building is a point to point connection. a point-to-point connection. So basically, every network currently we are using almost uses point-to-point connection network. We have the transmission control protocol. It's basically also the same thing. Transmission is the same as the point-to-point. They are just terms, terms. We have the internet web package or subsequent packet exchange. Now, when I talk about packet is okay. Before that, can someone tell me what packet is? The last time we talked a lot about packets. Whilst we were discussing about the layers of a network, please someone should tell me what a packet is. By now, everyone should know what a packet is. What is a packet? Someone, just express yourself. What's a packet? To a networking student, when you are being asked what's a packet, please not pocket,
Yeah,
packet. Yes, please.
a packet is they are small pieces of data.
Right. Perfect. Just perfect. That's all. So, packets, this is it. You want to transfer a file to, let me see, to Tom on a particular network. Now, the moment you click on send, your okay, the moment you click on send, that your file is break into smaller particles. Your file is break into smaller particles. Now these smaller particles are carried by this transport layer. All the layers are involved. So these smaller particles that are being carried through this channel are called packets. They are data which is break into smaller particles. Every data or resource you send through a channel breaks into packets. In fact, packets are what is being sent in the network for someone to receive at the other end. Okay, we also have we also have Net BIOS Extended User Interface. It's a Microsoft protocol that doesn't support routing to other networks. Okay, so this is actually basic input output system, which is actually backed by Microsoft. It's actually backed by Microsoft. You can read a lot about that. A lot about that. We have the file transfer protocol. This is used to send and receive files from a remote host. So, for example, the 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 email system. An email system can be used as example here, whereby transmissions of files are being sent. So, basically, file transfer protocol. This is a protocol. Now, take note. In network, we deal with protocols. Even you assigning an address, the address you assign is called internet protocol.
Simply, what is the protocol itself then?
Okay, let me find a protocol. Let me find uh, a very understanding protocol for you. Okay, when we talk about protocol, protocol is established a set of rules that determine how data is transmitted between different devices in the same network. So they are a set of instructions. Do you get it? So your internet protocol, that your IP address, they are a set of instructions that allows data to be transferred between devices in the same network. So protocols, they are a set of instructions. You get it?
Okay, please.
Yes,
Yes, please.
they are just set of instructions. And we have a lot of protocols. We have FTP, that's a file transfer protocol. We have DNS, the domain network server. We have it there. We have, please, okay, your assignment before we meet on Sunday evening. That's before we start our practical. Please go and read on all types of protocols in networking. We have about five so far, about five, but there are more. Go and read about protocols, set of instructions. So protocol, go and read. We have a lot of protocol. So you see, when we even move to the next one is hypertext transfer protocol. This one, I presume everyone knows this. Hypertext transfer protocol, HTTP. Who can tell me something about this? Networking. Yes, Edgar. Someone saying something about HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Right. This is a protocol used on the internet. It's used for the web to send documents that are encoded in HTML. Basically, it is a protocol governing the web, the internet. So you see, whatever website you visit, you check your address. You see HTTP. You just go, you see HTTP from your address bar. This is a protocol that also governs the internet. Okay, we have the network file services. It allows network nodes or workstations to access files and drive as if they were their own. The network services. I think it allows allows network nodes. Hope you know network nodes. Someone should tell me what a network node is. A network node. Anyone? A network node. We've learned this. Oh.
So I think it is I think a redistribution point also. Yes, a
Okay.
distribution point. A redistribution point.
Yes, just that, a network node. So you, the one receiving that at the end of that channel or at the end of that point, you are a node. As simple as that, you are a node, and every node has a unique address. A unique address. I will make sure they send you guys the last time's video so that you can uh watch it and remember these things. These are vital things before we start the practical. You need to know all the, because the application we are going to use, it's it's actually building of a network. So you see devices there. You see a router, you see fiber, you see servers, you see nodes. So you bring it to the main interface, you try to connect. If it connects, you see green lights on. It's a whole interesting sound. You need to be knowing these basic things. Router, you need to know a router, who is a client, what's a server. You need to be knowing all these. Okay, we have the simple mail transfer protocol. Okay, so this is also a protocol that's used to send email. When you see there, I know most of you have visited websites that says forgot password. You click on forget password, then it asks you to enter your email address. When you enter it, then it sends you automatically, that website will send you an email address into an email message into the address you provided, so that you click on and reset your password. That that system, that sender, automatic, no one is sitting behind the system, no. So immediately you input your email address, you see it automatically. You goes to your address, you see automatically there is a new email there saying there is a link to reset your password. That transfers it is called simple mail transfer protocol. This is also a protocol. We will be dealing with a lot of protocols. Please go and research about protocols in networking. We have about five, six protocols. Go and read about them. Right now, you know about four here. We have the mail one, we have the file one, we have the web one. That's the hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, we have the telnet used to connect to a host and emulate a terminal that the remote server can recognize. Okay, basically, when we talk about telnet, let me find a very simple definition for you. It's actually okay. Those who were installing the software and you were being given V what the guy say VM. The VM stands for virtual machine. Virtual machine. Okay, a telnet is a network protocol. You see, this is also a protocol used to virtually access a computer and to provide a two-way collaborative text-based communication channel between two systems. Command transmission mode networking for creating. Telnet, what it does in simple, in snappy, is it helps you or it helps a communication between two hosts using the terminal. So those we using Windows, there is a command. There is a command you can use to actually view the IP address of the network you are using. Who knows it? Those using Windows, there is a command to actually use to view the IP address you are using. Command IP address in Windows. Okay, so you can you this is this. So those using Windows, you can try. You can open your CMD, then type ipconfig. I'm putting at the chat session. I'm putting at the chat session. So you can type this particular command and you will see a whole lot of things there. Go through and know what I'm talking about. Okay, so all these are protocols. All these are protocols. Now let's get to the fiber, the optic fibers. We have types of the fiber or the cables. We have shielded, twisted pair cables, and we have unshielded, twisted pair cable. The shielded one, please hope you can see my screen. The shielded one has, in fact, let me see, a silver like material that protect the wires apart from the main cover, while the unshielded one doesn't have silver. So you see the network cables, they are different types. Some you try to open it, some have silver cover before the main cover. That one is a shielded twisted pair. And those, that's very very bare. Like you just open the cover, then you see the wires, naked wires. Those are unshielded twisted pair, the UTP.
Sir,
Yes, please.
please a question. Oh.
Okay.
So what makes it different? With what you are saying, I mean the silver cover. What makes it? What does it does to the cable? Is there any beneficial or any important using that how do you call silver like rubber or something to cover the cable?
Okay. So so this is it. The shielded one prevents electromagnetic interference. This is it. You're a networking student, and as I was starting, I said this. Please take note of this. When you when there is a network, whenever you create a channel and there's transmission. Now note, this transmission, you are transmitting a file from one point to another. This file being transmitted is break down into pieces, that's packets. These packets are carried by the transport layer by data link signals. Now note, it's a signal. Our class can end any moment. We will join again. It's a signal. Now this signal, whilst it being transferred, when it gets contact to electromagnetic signals, it's going to interfere it. It's going to cause interference. So it's going to cause a transmission delay, or it's going to not make your files rich, or your file will reach, and let me say half of the file is just rich, half